You really like reacting with the orangutan. I'll just wait a couple of minutes for people to join, and I will start with the reaction, with the prediction. Well, we started off nicely. Banlist prediction for January, hopefully. Hopefully we get this sooner rather than later. Okay, I think we can start. The fuck is this emoji? What? Oh, wow. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with the band section. I have the bands that I think will happen and the bands that I want to happen. If they are smart, at least, to make the game a bit more fun than it is currently. So let's start with the obvious, okay? Okay. Let's start with the obvious. Zombie Vampire band. This card has not been used to make fun stuff for both players in so much time. I think it has never been used for something not toxic, at least. This card is very, very powerful, and it will continue to be. It doesn't matter if Mitsu is in the format. Sometimes this card, as long as it is existing, it will be very powerful. Secondly, the band that most people, at least at the moment, want is Herald of the Arclight. I think these two bands are definite. I think they will definitely happen. Another band that I have, and I would like to discuss this with other people, Unspell as well, although Unspell, we'll talk about it later, is Spell Canceller, actually. What do you feel about this card? Because I think this card might get banned due to how accessible it is, and as we saw with the previous ban list, we saw Konami getting rid of floodgates, and this is a very, very powerful floodgate. So a searchable level 5 floodgate in the K9 format, I think it's a bit too strong, especially if you see Konami's agenda. The next decks that are gonna be released post Burst Protocol and in the other sets, like with all the Magistu stuff, the Spellcasters, yeah, this card just doesn't fit the gameplay that Konami is providing us with the next sets. So that's why I think this will get banned. Now, a personal opinion is that Dimension Shifter should get banned at least. I'm here to say Striker Dragon to 3 and Savage to 1, thank you. Okay, we will talk about that later. But Striker Dragon is not coming back. So I want to say Shifter will get banned. I don't know if this will happen. I don't know what fetish Konami has with cards that say ban is everything. But this card should be banned. It's almost uncounterable. Even decks that do play Callby, which is not every deck, by the way, like has to open specifically Callby in order to add this card, and I think 95% of the decks out here lose to Shifter. It's not the same as Diffusor, it's not the same as like Microcosmos. This card literally has almost zero counterplay, and drawing Callby is not it, because what if you go second and you get Shifter? Then what? Shifter doesn't have a realistic counterplay, and get forced to play a deck that plays cards like this is not a way I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh at least. So that's why I think this card should be banned. I knew you were gonna say Gamma, I knew it. In order to resolve Gamma, first you have to draw it. Secondly, you have to play Garnet in the deck. Thirdly, you have to have no monsters. And a lot of times they wait for you to summon a monster before they shifter. So, also not acceptable situation. And Gamma can get Dust, by the way. And also Kolbe can get Belt, which are two popular hand traps in the current meta. And Shifter cannot be hit with like a 3 of hand trap at least. If they bring Gamma to 3 or Kolbe to 3, which is never gonna happen, by the way, I wouldn't mind Shifter being at 1, but since the counterplays realistically do not exist, this should get banned. Just for that reason. I don't know if anything else deserves to get banned. I don't think we are currently in an okay situation. Next, I would like to discuss Habakir and Prayers. I'm fine with either of them getting banned, limited. I heard some people wanting Haba banned, but I think this is a bit over the top. The best situation I think will be both of them to get limited, so we can like stay away from this deck building. Everything in the game makes. Oh my god! I said I will talk about Undispel later. Yes, it is limited. I will talk about later if it deserves to get banned or not. I don't think it deserves to get banned. It could get banned. I'm fine with Undispel at the moment. If it gets banned, I wouldn't mind it. If it doesn't, it's fine. Okay, happy? Either one of these, or even better, both of these to get limited. Just for how flexible they are and what they do for a deck. I really hope they get limited. Now, I do have a personal preference, which is Fissure to 1. Basically same reason as Shifter and Herald. I don't mind Herald for the Omnigate. It's basically there for the banish effect, which is very hard to counter, to be honest. And if you see the Fissure, how it's getting used is used with one or two ways. One is to activate it, so your deck that normally loses to draw just doesn't lose to draw. Like Mitsurugi, they can activate it and full combo under Fissure, which is a bit unfair, to be honest, because the matchups they save this in is just almost an auto win. Certain decks cannot play through it, and keep in mind, with the decks we're getting in Burst Protocol, none of the decks can play through Shifter cards. So in order to promote the new decks, I think they would like to reduce the counters they have currently. Fissure is one of them. I think it would be a genuinely good band. It's a floodgate. We know that Konami, from the previous ban list, would like to not give us as many floodgates, and I would like that as well. Also, speaking of floodgates, another ban is the Last Barrier statue. That is not light or dark, because light or dark is... they're not as good. Literally, they are the most famous attributes at any year. And yeah, like even at Snake Eye format, you would still play a lot of darks in your deck, so I don't think any of these are generic enough, searchable enough to get banned. This is a Fiend, which is kinda worrying, because Fiends do have a lot of cards that can get this, but I don't think a dark attribute or a light attribute lock is bannable in this format, especially with all the new decks that are coming out. They are light and dark, almost all of them. This is not as a generic type, and realistically, having access to this from the deck right away with Mermail is just a bit unfair. And we also saw the other decks that after their floodgates got banned, they went on this approach. Barrier statue, so yeah, this card can also go fuck itself. Next limit is Liger Dancer for me. I think one Liger Dancer. I think Liger Dancer is fine, limited. 2 is basically an auto win because at least a lot of decks other than Dragon Tail cannot out 2 Ligers with White Kaiju or whatever, but having 1 Liger can mean something interesting for the deck. It might mean that it will swap into a going second build, that now your focus is not to protect Liger but to OTK, and this is what Lunalight is supposed to be doing. Like, a lot of cards are meant to go second, so having Liger to 1, potentially shifting the deck into a going second approach is very interesting. I would like that to happen, and to be fair, if the counters of Lunalight, which is Shifter, Fissure, all of this, go banned, or to 1 at least, it means that the going second approach can be real. I don't know if you guys agree with me, this is a personal take, but I think this is a reason why I would like Liger to be limited. Obviously, Lunalight is not the biggest of issues, so I don't mind this going, like, staying where it is, but I don't think 1 less towers that attacks twice and destroys everything, going to 1 less copy is bad for the game. So another thing that I want to talk about, and this is obviously without any bias, is that Fallen Virtues is a card that is being played everywhere. Everyone and their mothers play this card. And now we're getting branded support, which means it will even be more broken, and it's generic as well. Fallen and the White Albaz is crazy as a card, and it can do so much stuff. And giving you a Fallen Virtues on top of that is very unbalanced. But Fallen Virtues is a new card, and I don't think they will hit a new card right away. So my solution to this is Albion getting limited. This will hurt Brand a lot, preemptively. As a branded player, obviously I don't want this to happen, but this is something logical, and again, I say this is a prediction mostly. I will have some wishlist picks in there, but I feel like Albion to 1 balances Fallen Virtues a lot, and it balances branded post new support pretty much, to be honest. I know some people will disagree with me, but I feel like this is not an unfair... I'm not requesting this is not a request, but this is not an unfair take, I think. I see you writing Nyamu to 1 and Savage to 1. Savage can come back if it gets an errata. And keep in mind we're getting the OCG ban list first, so if we see OCG... actually, we will definitely not see OCG errata Savage, because Savage is at 3 there. So it's a bit weird. I know that Konami would like to give Rockets a bit more support, because the Rocket Detonator, if you read it, it's basically there for Savage, not for the Fusion Monster. It's there for Savage, realistically. But the issue with that is that when you give Magistus full power with Spoon, with everything basically, and the new Spellcaster support that is getting released, giving them an early Omnigate can be very unbalanced. And since their combos are indeed very strong and very easy to make with just 1 card, I don't feel like giving them an Omnigate at the start of their combo is very fair, and I don't think this is what Konami will do. Albion to 1 is not that impactful. Most of the decks that are not branded will still play 1 of him with a new Ecclesia Synchro. Yes, but the thing is that if you're playing 3 Fallen Virtues, which most decks are, or at least 2, sending the first Albion, setting the second Fallen is not that impactful when you send a Cartesia Synchro, because then you cannot set your third one. Decks like Radiant Typhoon, Sky Striker, like... It is a bit weird, I don't know. Albion is not needed in the limited section, but... I mean, it's just a take. It's just a prediction. Because I know that Konami doesn't really like overly generic cards. Although that cannot be said for Finsmith and Mitsurugi, obviously, but I think releasing a card designed for branded, and it is a very good design for branded, having that card being so generic in every deck almost. I mean, I played in the original and fucking Rizal had this in their deck. So that is my consideration. I don't want Albion to go to 1. Keep in mind, it's just a prediction. So yeah, I do understand that it is weird because optimally you would like to use 3 Fallen in a game, but probably in that spot you're already winning. I mean, yeah, it is a bit weird to balance it out. I don't know how Konami views this. Maybe it is a good thing for them. I mean, I don't mind Fallen Virtues. I think this card is very good for the game and it puts board breakers in a better state. And I think it is good for the game. I think Fallen Virtues is nice, but I just view it from Konami's perspective on how generic it is, being designed for a different archetype. That's all. I hope it doesn't get limited. It's just a prediction. So next card in the ban list is gonna be Obedience School. I'm going out of order. So I think they will semi-limit this before they unlimit. But I would just put it to 3. Me personally, I would put it to 3 because for one point of view, with the new Tri Brigade cards, Yami can have very good interactions, and Obedience School is not unfair and it makes the deck kinda lose to Nibiru. And keep in mind that without Herald and with Mitsurugi getting hit most likely, I think that Obedience School should come back to 3 because Yami as a core is very fair. The only thing that makes Yami a bit unfair is the Herald and how much protection they can get in Herald with the Mitsurugi cards. So without Herald, I don't mind Yami cards being playable. I don't want limit Capsi, the surprise. I don't want any of that as a player because I feel like the Yami matchup is very fun to play. No matter what deck you are playing. And now with Killerton the deck is even worse. Obviously Killerton is not the best deck, but yeah. I think Obedience can stay where it's at. Okay, dude, come on. If you're banning this, and limiting this, Yami needs something to play, okay? We don't need to kill Justice Hunter's deck. Justice Hunter's deck were very fun and they were balanced. Because if you look at the previous metas we had with Rizal, with Malice, with Snake Eye, these were not so much balanced decks. And Dragon Tail and Yami are the most fair meta decks ever, to be honest. I will talk about Dragon Tail soon. But, okay, come on. I don't think Yami is that unbalanced. And I don't think the Yami hate is real. I just think you hate Herald. And if that gets banned, when it gets banned, I think it will be fine. Semi-Snatchy, call it a day. Okay, I don't think Semi-Snatchy does anything because some people just play 2. And with the Tri-Brigade cards you also might play just 2 in the list, so I don't think it does anything, it's just a pat in the back, like the semi-limit fountain. So, I will talk about Dragon Tail cards, just to be fair. I think these cards will get semi-limited. I don't think we should limit Ketu like the OCG did and keep this at 3. I think if we just reduce the consistency a bit, then it will be fine. It's a very fair deck. I just think it's unfair for Dragon Tail to get no hits, especially when they get very good support in Burst Protocol. And yeah, I see you writing about the Mitsu Structure deck, and this is the reason actually why I put these cards in limited section, because I think the reason they print Mitsu Structure deck for support is in order to have the ability to potentially ban Haba or limit these cards and to not kill pure Mitsu, because pure Mitsu again is very fair. Pure Mitsu does not do unbalanced things. Mitsu does unbalanced things when it's mixed with other engines. And that's why I think Haba can stay at the game And the Mitsu support is gonna be a reptile support basically. They're gonna lock them into reptiles, like their Kaiju monster. So they can still do very powerful pure Mitsurugi stuff, and they can still play the cards that make them good, which is the Dominus cards and etc. etc. But this is why I say these cards are limiting, and the reason why I think these are gonna get semi-limited is because I think Dragon Tail is a very, very, very fair deck. It's one of the most fair decks of the meta ever. It can feel a bit underwhelming when you get constantly turn 0 to 5 mana. So that's why I think we hit these 3 cards on semi-limit. You just reduce the consistency just a bit. You don't kill the deck, but you don't let it like run out unhit, because if it gets unhit completely and every card is at 3 and the new support comes out and all the other decks are just hit and inconsistent, then it will be tier 0, honestly, or tier 0.5. And I'm not saying this biased completely, and this realistically doesn't change anything, it just takes away 3 starters. But it's 3 less starters that you would have from tier 0.5. This is at least my opinion. In OCG they limit K2 and it did nothing. It is still the best deck by far. So that's why I think if we just semi-limit these cards, then we can still keep a fair deck, but with just a few consistency hits, which should be fine, I think. As a player perspective, I think this is not unbalanced. So let's go on to the next card. I have them write it down. I think realistically, Malice were out for too long, so just ban Ransom. Do the same thing as Master Duel. With Splash Mage ban and Ransom ban, I don't think this deck can do anything. It is very good in the OCG still. It has a lot of representation, and to be fair, I think it's time to go. No one likes Malice, honestly. No one likes. Even the Malice players that I speak to, they don't. They know that their deck is unbalanced. Or just ban Dormos or Binder. I don't know how much Binder does. I think Ransom is the better hit. Dormos is obviously a very good one. They banned Ransom on Master Duel, but they still have Splash Mage and a few other cards. I think this will be fine. Like, any ban should probably kill the deck. I remember the deck died after the limited K2 and became relevant with the branch support again. Yes, keep in mind we're talking, we're discussing a ban list, mainly looking ahead at Burst Protocol and the new support. We don't care about the 1 month potentially that we don't have the set, because it's not that big of a deal. When they had the ban list before the Nationals and before Duelist Alliance Insight was released, the format was very, very good, with Malice getting hit and stuff, and we had a lot of decks. We saw Memento signing that format, but it was such a small amount of weeks that the moment the new set got released, the decks just became tier 1, tier 0 again, like Malice and Rizal. That's all we ever saw. So we want to prevent that. We don't want a format where, I don't know, like we played 2 decks for 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then the new support gets out and everything just goes wild, because the new set is gonna be very wild. I like the decks a lot, to be honest with you. I really like all the decks that are getting released / getting support. But I'm still wanna balance the format a bit, and I'm looking this from Konami employer perspective, where they want to sell out the new set, right? And in order to sell out the new set and the players to buy the new decks, you have to basically limit or ban their counters. Because if a deck gets released and every single card that counters them is out at 3, then you're probably not gonna play it. Like Killerton. Killerton is good for their Yami matchup, and because Yami is so dominant. But imagine, like, we were in a fusion meta, and we had like Branded and Dragon Tail only. These are the two best decks. Do you think anyone in their mind would play Killerton? They do nothing against these decks. Nothing, literally. I let one Killerton player do full combo, and I was playing Branded, by the way, and he didn't end on anything. On anything realistic for a fusion deck. They are good because of the level change they have on their synchro. Genesis deck XD, yeah, I mean, this is my point. Do you understand my point? Is that if the best decks counter the new decks, then you're not gonna play the new decks. When Justice Hunters was released and we had Malice and Rizal, basically unhit, the new decks were so good against these decks that people stopped playing for a while at least. They stopped playing Malice and Rizal. They were all playing Yami, they were all playing Vanquishal, a few people were playing Dragon Tail, but we literally stopped seeing the massive representation we had with Malice and Rizal. Maybe it was because obviously some people were bored and they want to try out the new decks. We will still see that. But a very competitive player, possibly all of you, are not gonna buy and invest time and money on new decks unless their counters are not existent. So this is why I think the ban list will look somewhat like this, I wanna say. What else do I have? Okay, a hot take, I want to discuss this with you guys. How do you feel about Mystical Space Typhoon getting semi-limited? I talked with a few people on that, and I know this looks troll as fuck. But they did not really disagree, because Radiant Typhoon is getting very popular right now, and will get massive support with the new Link 2. It's very, very nice, the new Link 2. And limiting the amount of Mystical Space Typhoons is not limiting their destruction of spells. They can still search MST. The thing is that they reduce the chances of having a triple spell trap negate with the trap. This is what I am arguing, is that obviously MST as a card is a troll to have a 2. Obviously this is a bad card compared to Cosmic Cyclone, to like Duster. Obviously we're not discussing how unfair quote unquote is MST, but we're just discussing if MST semi-limit does anything for to balance out basically just a bit Radiant Typhoon. Just that. So I will have this at semi. I don't think it will happen. It's just there for discussion with you guys. I obviously respect your opinion a lot. So let me know about that. Another thing I think we all definitely agree on is Snow getting unbanned. If it gets limited, it doesn't matter. If it's at 3, let's keep it realistic. Snow is leaving this ban list. New Fairy Tail support. If they get 3 MST, they high roll anyways. Okay, if they just open 1, they can just search 2. Their combo, I think, searches 2, but if they open 1, then they get triple Omnigate. Not Omnigate, you know what I mean. Actually, I think it is an Omnigate. Yeah, they're getting triple Omnigate on the field. So this is my argument, just that. Just semi-limit maybe MST to limit their Omnigates. Not to hit the deck. The deck is not unbalanced or anything, but it is very, very strong. I saw a lot of people testing this for Burst Protocol. Again, this is for a discussion. This is not that real. What is real is Snow, definitely. New Fairy Tail support, half of their cards. Might as well mention Snow, because yeah, this is the card they are supposed to be made for. So I don't think we will get just New Fairy Tail without Snow. And to be honest with you, Snow is not that unbalanced. We don't have a mill deck in the format. When it got banned, we had like two instances that Fairy Tail got banned from when I started playing. One was when this Brilliant Fusion Grass pile was in the meta, 60 card mill deck, very unbalanced with Snow in the format, in a Master Rule 4 format, very unbalanced. And second instance is with TR. I don't even need to explain why Snow with TR is unbalanced. Half of their deck is in the graveyard, they get so many disruptions for free, link bodies to link climb, but now such decks do not exist. No graveyard deck is realistically gonna send Snow to banish everything just to have this. The graveyard decks of the format, quote unquote, is Dragon Tail and Branded. None of these can fill their graveyard that easily, and the graveyard cards they have, they don't wanna banish them. So Snow definitely coming back, for sure, no doubt. And for the future, Konami, just don't print cards that make Snow unbalanced. This is a fun card to play, we don't need this band. Next, I put the Charmies at 2. Meowls is definitely the worst one, by far. The only reason is there is because the other two are. And for the reason of looking ahead in the future, no, I will have Electromite in a minute, don't worry about it. Soon. But I want to talk about these cards first. Fuga, Purulia, very good cards. Fuga is honestly a bit unbalanced. There are a lot of instances when going second, there are like two shapes of the coin, two sides. One is that you a lot of times cannot win unless you resolve Fuga against a lot of decks. So first thing Konami should do is limit the going first power, banning the Omni Gates, banning Wombo Combo Engines, limiting towers, floodgate stuff, yeah. So if we do all that, and going first gets, is this a prediction or wishlist? It's both. I don't think any of the stuff that I said, except MST, which is a personal opinion, and again, it's up for debate. I don't think any of these cards shouldn't be there. Potentially Albion as well. But this is not biased, obviously. This is not a wishlist. Fuga is very, very strong. And if we reduce the power of going first, then we should reduce a bit the power of going second as well. Fuga is almost a maxi. A lot of games you can just not play your deck because you had Fuga resolved against you and you just lose. Like Yami, a lot of scenarios, if they get Fugad, they most likely lose, to be honest with you, because I don't accept in a Dragon Tail meta, in a Branded meta, Magistus meta, whatever, that Yami can win with a Link 1 and a level 1 on the field. That's my case. Zombie Vampire is going to be on the Charmer structure. That is true, but isn't the Charmer structure, in order to be released in the OCG, they can swap these cards out. Like some structure decks, when they were announced, they had Maxi in there. Obviously, we didn't get Maxi, we will just get another card. Like we might get Hope Harbinger or another rank 8. And also, I don't get why Zombie Vampire is in the structure deck. Just because Horus exist? I mean, I don't think this is an acceptable enough reason to not hit Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire as a card is not very balanced, especially with Mitsurugi. You can bridge basically with any engine. And keep in mind that these cards are worse in pure Mitsurugi than they are in Yami, for example. In Yami, this is full combo. In Mitsurugi, it's not. It's not the best. I think Zombie Vampire is not staying another meta. And they can just print another rank 8, generic rank 8 that helps potentially the Charmers. Like you can print Coach King, you can print Hope Harbinger, Photon Lord, you have good rank 8s. You can like the prison, what it's called, Sanaphon, you can print good truncates. We don't necessarily need specifically Zombie Vampire. Although I do understand. Actually, no, it's not. Like, what does Zombie Vampire do for Charmers? What does it do? Like, it's not like you're helping the Charmer game plan going. It's just there for horrors. Back to the Charmies, I think Fuga is getting semi-limited. Purulia is, in a lot of formats, is better than Fuga. I have played formats where Purulia is better than Fuga. So I think they are in a similar power state. Fuga is a bit better than Purulia, but both of them are very, very strong. And they will continue to be very strong. For example, against 11 nodes, I think you would rather see Purulia than Fuga, to be honest. Nyalus is there because the other two are. You don't need to simulate Nyalus, but I think if they do that, they will do for all Charmies. For future reasons to balance the Charmy like game plan. I would also not like to see any of these limited. I'm fine with the Charmies. I'm playing Dragon Tales, I don't really care about Fuga and Purulia obviously, but I have to see this from my perspective of other decks that just cannot play through Fuga. Especially if you try to commit, and the half endboards are not realistic enough to win in this meta. Especially when we have board breakers in the meta as well, like we have Fallen Virtues, we will get the new crown, the Forbidden Crown. We're getting Magistus extenders, branded extenders, like not having how can I say this? Ending on a half board against Fuga is never gonna be enough. Branded structure was released simultaneously now, although I agree with you. Yeah, but it's not the same. Oh, because it's a chronicle thing, you mean? Yeah, it's not about. I don't think it's about when it is released. I think it's about where it's being released. Like they can have Savage Dragon in a structure deck for OCG, and they have this card at 3. It's not like we're gonna get it. Although what you say does make a lot of sense, so they might not ban Zombie Vampire for that reason. When is the Charmer structure deck? Actually, when is it? Because it can get banned after we get the structure deck if it is early enough. So if we get the structure deck first, then we can get a ban list a few weeks later, and that might make sense because I think Zombie Vampire is getting banned definitely. In this ban list, the only 2 cards I was sure about were these 2. Just that. So yeah. Let me know when is the structure deck. This is my wishlist deck. I was a Pendulum player for 5 years. I won my first regional with Pendulum, so I just want Electromite to come back. Yeah, obviously it's not coming back to 3, this is unbalanced. Come back to 1, please. And I really wanna see Tripp's reaction to that. Although it is a bit out of pocket, we don't have a lot of Pendulum decks. Anycraft is not a Pendulum deck, let's be honest. DDD has its own links. I don't even think they would play Electromite. They might, but I don't think they will. Yeah, Electromite is a bit out of pocket. This is just a wishlist take, not a prediction. Although it can come back for sure, right? So yeah, this is my ban list. Am I missing something? According to you at least, am I missing something? I don't think I am. Okay, I heard a bit about Canyon cards. I saw a few complaints. We can do some things like limiting Lupis, which is Christian inclusion. What do you wanna do with inclusion, bro? Okay, inclusion is not leaving it's not leaving limited list. Maxi, bro. Okay, you're a psychopath. We're not semi-limiting Charmies in order to release Maxi from the ban list. Come on, I mean, we need to have a common sense. Reaper ban. Reaper ban. It's interesting. If you are gonna ban a Cannon card, I think what you should ban is Jokul. I feel like Jokul is by far the most unfair Kanan card that exists. I don't think Reaper is. Because the decks that are playing level 5, the decks that are playing Kanan for the extension they give, like Crystron, Memento, there are not a lot of decks obviously that play Kanan for Jokul special summon, but the ones they do, when you open Jokul and that level 5 in archetype they have, you can play through 3 hand-traps very, very easily. Very fucking easy. And Jokul is unfair because not only it special summons a level 5, just by revealing it, you can do that with pushing a board, pushing through hand-traps, it can add Izuna, and then you can overlay into a Reaper that can protect from the hand-traps. So I think Jokul is the unfair part of Kanan. I don't think Reaper is, because if Reaper gets banned, then they don't have a good way to search the quick play. I don't think Lantern is gonna be one in order to go for Millennia, which is a very strong card by the way. I don't think they will ban Reaper. If they do anything, they could do something like this. I would be really happy with this, and they can do something like this. I think this is fine for Kanan. If you have a problem with Kanan, I think this should be it. Also, I forgot about Vanquishal. Yeah, this card should be limited. And I think this is my ban list. Now, any suggestions? I think I speak for everyone when I say this gets limited. I think we understand the reason. Inclusion semi or semi. Bro, inclusion is not living limited. I'm sorry. Bring back Raisin and stake your soul. No, fuck no. Kit colors? Okay, if you say any more unbalanced cards, I'm gonna time you out for 5 minutes. Do you think I don't want Kit colors? The most fun I have ever had with Yu-Gi-Oh was a TR format, by the way. But Kit colors is not coming back. For sure, I can guarantee you. Kit colors is not coming back. X at 2. I mean, what's the point of that? It doesn't really promote any of the new decks. And X being at 2, it just makes Ryzel more powerful. And Ryzel, like, do you really want Ryzel? I think it's a fucking boring deck. It's so boring. I even played Ryzel for a while and I got so fucking bored. I didn't like this playing at all. I just needed something to play from national period until Dragontail was released in TCG. So that's why I was playing Ryzel. And it wasn't even my deck. It was borrowed. This deck is fucking boring as fuck. You don't want X to 2. Kit Kalos legal in Master Duel. Okay, in Master Duel, first of all, they have Max C. Second of all, it's a different format. Third of all, there are banned names there. Terraforming is banned, the field spell is banned, we have semi-limited Siren, we have limited Hafnis, we have banned Merly. Okay? It's a lot of different formats. It's very different. And by the way, TR is not gone in Master Duel, as if you saw my stream, I played against so many TR players, and if I didn't have the best hand ever, going second, I would just lose. Because this is a pile of dog shit stuck together, focused to mill 2 cards in order to make Kit Kalos and just win. So we're not bringing back Kit Kalos. As much as I like her, it's not their time. Verde Anaconda is legal and it sucks in Master Duel. Okay, 1. It doesn't suck at all. Like, Lucius plus a name in hand is full combo, branded access without opening any brand cards. And I played Verde in Master Duel and it was fucking amazing. Because you could just open Lucius. Okay. Okay, I will take a screenshot so we can look at it later. But yeah. Oh my god. Yes. Fuck's sake. What was I saying? Okay, so This is full branded combo with full Dragon Tail combo with brand access that gives you. Let me get it. Okay, with Verte you can get a lot, and with the new support you are not getting Verte back. What about Elf? That card seems okay. Yeah, I mean sure, but I need you to explain why. Okay, sure, Elf might not be the problem, and it is not the problem until this. But even if it comes back, what deck out of the ones in Burst Protocol does it promote? You have to be in. I like Sprite Frogs, bro. I like Sprite as well. Sprite Elf was one of my favorite cards at that format. I like Sprite. I like Tier. I like this format a lot. But you have to keep in mind that the ban list is not made based on what we like. It's based on balancing the format and / selling the new set and the new decks. So you have to keep in mind that what you are doing with a ban list is promoting the next decks. And this is why we always have ban list close to new sets. Potentially a month earlier or later, but still. This is the reason. Also Noroi. Fucking Noroi should like be limited or something. The ban list should be made for me. Yeah, sure, buddy. I wanna show you something, by the way. Since we are done with ban list, let's take a look at Saddles. You're gonna have a sneak peek. I like this deck a lot. This is my first fusion deck, and I'm really happy that it's getting back, even to a playable level. So we're gonna do some test hands, we're gonna discuss this, and you're gonna like it. So, I still don't know all the combos. This card is fucking crazy, by the way. So this can send, you normally send Abkalon, Albion, or Evil with this. In this scenario, I think I would send, if you wanna play it full safe, you can send Abkalon. Because it kinda plays around roll. Yeah, let's send Abkalon. Okay. So Abkalon gets us Squamata and Squamata Grista. So we banish this with Grista, now we're locked into Shadows. And we are gonna make this. So this is gonna pay 8 feel great. And we're gonna search the Liberation, which is fucking crazy, by the way. So here, what we wanna do is activate Liberation, revealing the dragon, getting a Shadow Schism and an El Shadow Fusion. Because we opened Foolish Barrel, we can send Schism here, and now we can activate El Shadow Fusion for Hedgehog to add Wendy. Obviously this was Foolish Barrel, not El Shadow. Now we activate El Shadow Fusion to fuse with these, or even with this if you want. So we summon this, and we trigger Wendy. So Wendy can summon either Ariel or Beast. I think we should summon Ariel. So we activate this, we tribute, we summon Construct, chain block with them. So we summon back the Wendy, and with Construct we send I guess Beast. So with Beast we draw a card. We activate this, we flip Ariel, with Ariel we will have a Squamata. We can also summon back Grista. This almost ends on the same thing, we'll see later what it's good. Then you link off into Construct, one of my favorite cards when I was playing Shadows, because no one was expecting this. So we chain block everything, we get back Schism. And you can send Incarnation, it doesn't really matter, let's just send that. And then we're gonna activate construct. Sending the construct. Construct can get either incarnation or El Shadow Fusion. Let's get El Shadow, it doesn't really matter. And we end on that. This is our end phase. We have 2 hand traps, which is very good. And we have this. What does this do in your opponent's turn? So in draw phase you can do this. Fuse this away. Into... you can fuse to a construct, you can fuse to a winda. Let's say winda. Right? So winda and Skomata will be chilling one. So we do this and we send the other Grista. And now Grista will go ahead and banish this and Hedgehog. And now we put a monster negate. And now we have this. So we have Winda, a Book of Moon. Although the Book of Moon is not really live right now, so we maybe had to fuse with... so we maybe had to leave Wendy here instead of this. Okay, so we will have potential in the future a Book of Moon. If they out Winda, which is very difficult to do, we can make a second one with the Schism. We have 2 hand traps. We have a monster negate with Sekinaga, which can protect our Winda even more. And obviously the follow-up is very big, because the moment these cards leave the field, we can add back from the graveyard. So this is a very good endboard against every meta. This was 1.5 card combo. This is the same combo as before, so I just won't show it. Same combo, okay, what the fuck. Okay, I will just showcase the Mathematician combo. So in normal Mathematician, same combo for Armageddon Knight as well, by the way. So we send these two, then we banish to make this. We have this. If we didn't have this, we would add. But since we do, we're gonna add Void Liberation. This adds any adult card, by the way. You can also add monsters. You're definitely, like, most likely you're not gonna search monsters with this, but you can still do it. Then we're gonna activate Left Shadow Fusion. Now we can send Albion, because we have the combo piece we want. We're not gonna use that yet. We can activate Void Liberation. Reveal Shadow Fusion, and we can get Wendy and Schism. And we send Wendy. Wendy is gonna trigger, getting us an Ariel set. And then we activate the fusion to summon construct, same block, summon Wendy from the graveyard. Mathematician Shadow brings back memories. Yeah, fuck me. I know it does. It does for me as well. So here we send... it doesn't really matter, we can also send Hedgehog if we didn't have Beast, we can send Incarnation, let's just send Fusion for Construct. And then we're gonna do that. And then with these two, we're gonna summon this, then we're gonna draw a card. Then we're gonna flip this. The flip is gonna summon back Grista. Then we're gonna do the same line again. We're gonna fuse for a second construct. Same block the effects, get this back. And now we can get a Hedgehog into Skomata. So again, similar endboard. We have these. We can also here we are also gonna set Fallen and Virtues. If we had more good spell or trap cards in the graveyard, we could summon the Shadow Construct with this to get back something. If we had a trap card, for example, depending on the hunt. And on our opponent's turn, we're gonna, as you know, summon a Winda. Or Apkalone, it doesn't matter, depending on the scenario. So we're gonna summon a Winda, we're gonna send Grista. Grista is gonna fuse again into either Sekinaga or Mersal depending on the matchup. We have Fallen Virtus, Shadow Schism and Hunter. I think this is a very good endboard. Very good follow-up as well. The going second of the deck is pretty nice because you're running Shadow Fusions, you're running good hand traps, high impact ones that also synergize with the fusions. For example, if you draw Fuga, you can fuse it off, or Droll, you can fuse it off for this because it's a wind monster. The earth monster, if you play Meowls, can be fused for the fusion that searches. I'm not playing Grista, the extra deck one, for the fire one, to fuse with us because obviously you're never gonna fuse with us. Nibiru is a light, so you can fuse it off for construct. And yeah, this is a deck. This is a very fun deck. I think it will be in a Battle of Legends most likely. So the decks that I have prepared for Burst Protocol so far, they are the two branded decks that I have not really put a lot of effort since the last stream that we talked this with Vasilis, because I'm not really keen into playing branded. The next format I really want to play Majestuous Dragontail. I feel that is very fun, and also the fusion, the spellcaster pile with the Endymion cards is very fun. I think I have this, the branded version of Dragontail with a new support. Now you're playing 3 Albas basically instead of 1, so now your branded fusion gets a lot better. You can resolve multiple fusions, that's why you're also playing 2 Albions instead of 1. I play 1 Fallen Virtus, you can play more. 6 Charms, I think they're very good. This is what I'm playing in the TCG right now. And yeah, Fallen Virtus is very busted. I mean, the Fallen of White Dragon, very busted card. Ecclesia getting able to summon Blazing Artesia, very fun with the deck. Gives you lines to play around Retaliating Sea. Is a bit better into shifter cards if you can shotgun the Albas. Send Albion getting an Ecclesia Synchro into a Fallen of Albas in your opponent's turn. Now getting the access to Fallen of Albas is very important. Your branded fusion gets a lot better with 3 Fallen of Albas, but the 2 are not breaks, they are combo starters. And the other one is there for the Super Poly effect. You can also play 3 white Albas, but I'm not agreeing with that. This is a very good deck. Dragon Link, a testing list that I did from the video. It felt nice. Obviously the ratios are gonna differ. Dragontail version 1, a few based on the current testing, a few lists. Godos is under testing. We didn't see it coming up yet, but the theory is that, for example, against the mirror match, when our opponent adds a card, for example from Arthalion, after you use Ketu, obviously after you use Ketu, or after Ketu, the moment they fuse, you can either steal something that Arthalion targets, which can be a Lucius, which can be a Mululu, it can be a Crowley, so you use it for your own good. So it's a bit there. I think for the mirror match, the idea is there for the mirror match. We will test this card more and I will let you know in the future how good this card is. But the idea is that after our opponent uses either Arthalion after 5 mana or he starts with Ketu, even better because now we can summon Godos, steal a Lucius, start our own stuff. Lucius can get ourselves a 5 mana. So the idea is there. The second version, which I like a bit more, this runs 2 Crowley. So if you break with one, basically Crowley is not a break anymore because I was drawing the one of every game and I couldn't combo with it. Because in order to do the good Majestuous combo that bridges into Dragontail, you have to not open specifically Crowley, and if you open it's a brick. Not a break, and this is why we play 2 as well, because in this list we are also playing Iwas. We're not playing Albion, we're just playing 2 Ecclesia Synchro. This is the idea from the OCG, and we are shuffling back with Secretarian in our combo, so we still have more Ecclesias to summon. And we're still summoning 1 with this. If we have combo, we're not going for the Magistus, we're going for a Brandy Dragon Teleport with this summoning an Cartesia. Obviously still Kaliga the Godos. Ghost Ogre is another experimental hand trap against 11 notes. If you, from what I've seen, if you hit the trap card with Ghost Ogre, half of their interruptions are gone. So I think this is a very huge choke point for them, and it's a very nice feeling to have Ghost Ogre against 11 notes. Obviously we're gonna see how good this deck is. Now for 11 notes I have 2 basic lists. This is closer to what Yasin published. This is a more pure variant, and then there is the Finsmith variant, which is full combo if you open Medius or Theoralize, because you can make Armades, search your Lucina or Dina. Dina plays around Droll, and then you can do Armades into Finsmith combo and then play with your 11 notes, which can be pretty good, because Caesar is very good in the next format. Also Retaliating Sea is there, because if you're also playing Veilers and stuff, or if you open the Power Patron and Ritual Sea against Dragon Tail, then you can kinda shut them out, because like Dragon Tail, if you play correctly, then you don't lose to Ritual Sea anymore, but it's still a nice option to have so far. And then you can still synchro Armadas and get your search. This is the Radiant list we play in. Obviously you're gonna notice Harpy's Featherstorm, which I hope it gets banned, because this is a fucking winged beast. This is a winged beast, which you can end on very often. And I don't want this card to be out. A board breaker list, as you see. These are just helping hand traps, like Ash Blossom is a second call by, which we also are not. Okay, we are playing this. And Fuga is there because if you resolve Fuga in a board breaker deck, then that's almost GG. The mirror match is kinda tricky because it can trigger Crochet on your opponent's turn. I think unironically you might have to go like second sometimes. What do you think of the Smorgling 3 maybe coming back? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want it to come back. And I don't think Radiant needs it. And neither does Tri-Brigade. And realistically, you already know what the Link 3 would summon. It would summon an Omnigate, and we're trying to get rid of those. I mean, I don't wanna see Epic Savian banned, because Epic Savian is one of my favorite cards because it was being played at early Pendulum, and I have good memories of Avian, but yeah. Fewer good memories when Flu was announced, but I don't think we're gonna see Link 3. If we're banning Herald, we're not gonna bring back a Link 3 that summons Avian, enables Harpy's Featherstorm. I mean, it's not that good. So yeah, these are the decks that I have tested so far. There are a few decks that are still under testing. I played a bit with Gigi Gibril, if you guys know him. He was playing Yami Tri-Brigade, which was my introduction to the deck basically. It was very powerful to see. It looked very good. Summoning Apex in MST deck is actually tricky. You get to do cool plays with popping your own cards in Enfys and resetting them to get enough spell drop-zones. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't need it. So yeah. Here, I was playing my bad list, so this hand is terrible. You have Spoon with nothing to search, the Brick and the Brick. This is awful. I'm basically playing with 2 cards. But yeah, look. He had to hard draw the field spell. he had to play the field spell. And he passed on that. Like, if I had Ketu here, for example, it was just GG. Ketu here forces everything. You just can't win if I activate Ketu. I do have 3 dead cards in my hand. Keep that in mind. And I think I misplayed that like awfully. Here what I should have done probably was normal Crowley get effect, try to get effect, or normal Mululu get effect. And here he does chain surprise, and like an idiot, I don't know, I didn't chain Ecclesia. I could chain Ecclesia to bait that I was playing Albaz, so he doesn't chain the link either way, and to play around Ketu. So here I should have chained Ecclesia. If I chained Ecclesia to go for an Albaz, I would have a Dragon, and I could go for a game with Secretarian. Obviously he has Bell, but he wouldn't have Bell for the trap card. So I do all that. This could be a Secretarian here. Yeah. I did kinda misplay this match. So here I activate just to get enough materials, try to bait a bit. So yeah, this should probably be better. Maybe I should have started with Rahu, most likely. This was the optional play. So he does Marshmallow, he does Snatchy, Bells on that obviously, Fallen Virtues. So now he goes Fractal and see how much one Fractal forces. Because I wasn't prepared for that. If he played pure Yami, he would lose here. Here he would lose. Because I would have my 5 mana for his extenders and flame for the other extender. But the Tri Brigade gave him enough pushes that I had to do something. And I had to go Arthalion with a lot of monsters in hand. So you see Tri Brigade, it does a lot. So I did have Kaliga, but he had obviously a normal summon, 1900 attack, like what the fuck. This is just unlucky. But it still shows that the deck has an out to Kaliga, which normally doesn't. Especially when I have trap card. So he does all that. I generally misplay and he does link 4 and stuff, so I lose. But yeah, I did play that kinda bad. But I learned from it. So I was not gonna lose the other games. I don't know why he imported that, to be honest. I don't remember if I added Lucius or not, but yeah. I don't think it's correct to imperm Lucius ever. So again, here I draw Crowley again, so I can't do the full combo. So I just end on Zoroa, which is still fine, but come on dude, stop drawing Crowley. That's why now I play 2. Urgula and Lucius, Femena Lucius Fenrir, and Zoroa is very good with Kulamel. Obviously, I knew that this was a bait, but I feel like Fenrir that is a very fair estimate. So he does all that, then I banish these because I wanted to leave the beast in graveyard in case I go Mysterion to banish the beasts. So I banish the beast warrior for that reason. Here, what the fuck, 3 Solons and Droplet. And I have 5 mana, yes, but I don't draw. I draw Urgula so late. Like, if I drew Urgula instead of Nibiru, I would destroy him. But we have to play it out. So Zoroa does that. I try to Fallen Virtues. He does all this, yep. Nibiru is still kinda fine, so I go Fallen. I should probably use Zoroa before I do that. But I don't have anything to trigger it. So maybe Zoroa normal summon was a mistake, and I had to start with Albaz. So he does all that, which is kinda scary. So yeah, here is just Nibiru. He's left with 0 cards. He has to Lollipop my thing, but yeah. He doesn't draw into playable and I have follow-up, so he just loses. To be fair, I did play through 3 solid fucking warnings and a droplet. So we're gonna see Crown here in my opponent's hand. I do a standard one card, one spell line. He does have Ash for this. It is very tricky. I don't know if I won this. I don't remember. I might. Let's see. I don't think I won this, to be honest. So he does this, pops that. Obviously trigger pan, but he has Doomiggle for that. Yeah, trigger that, just bait. Yep. Now I still have my Gulamel, at least. Nibiru here. I will just Blossom that. Yeah, I'm not playing. I was not playing 2 Fallen, so that Fallen versus was not doing anything. Fuck my life. He does have Purulia into Magistus, which is nice, especially when I draw Crowley for the 4th fucking time. I have to go Crowley here because I was kinda afraid of Ash Blossom and I wanted to have an Omni. Here, asking that with no other hand traps is really dumb. At least if you waited for my trap cards with Ash Blossom, then Zora would give me less value, because now realistically I have 2 monster negates and you just wasted a monster for nothing. But yeah, so I set 3 traps. I get 5 mana back. I have Sting Flame Horn, a monster negate Gulamel against Yami. Fuga is fine, it's basically an abstract goblin in this scenario. I think I should have gone for Zoroa. I forgot that Zoroa pops, so I could change Zoroa, negate, send for cost, pop Snatchy, Capsy, which would be very very good. He goes Crown on his own monster to protect it permanently, at least for this turn, from my effects. That means he will have Link 1 on the field all of the times, so he can summon all his extenders. So that tells me at least he has 1 more, maybe a few more. And so he said no effect for that reason, apparently. So I do draw 2 cards. It does force my Flame, but realistically Flame against Tri Brigade Yami is not gonna have more targets. So yeah, I have to change Sting here. He changed that. Here I should pop the Akroki with Zoroa. I keep forgetting that this can destroy. I will be remembering that in the future. So he does all that, right? And then he does Search, but I have 5 mana and I have Ash Blossom against 1 unknown card. So I'm never gonna lose that. I'm never gonna lose that game. And I'll go to game 3. I go second again. I lost both game ones. He does break. He does have Ibli. I don't know what Ibli is there for, other than locking. He does warning my Lucius. So I just change. I just said he now gives me the Ibli, which I don't understand. I tribute summon, activate Rahu. He changes Judgment. I attack. He has very few life points. He's on top deck. I have Ash Blossom, Ogre, and Flame, and next turn I have Crowley. And he has very few life points, so I just win that. Yeah, and the spell is okay, I think, especially in a format with MST, with Fallen and Virtues. I think it is fine, and with Urgula. That's why I didn't put Underspell on ban. That's why I didn't put any Floodgate realistically, like Tikaboo, like Rivalry. These cards are just not that good. They are not unbalanced. Yeah. So this is my testing, at least so far. I think I will end the stream now. I'm a bit sick and I need to get a bit of rest. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you agree with the Banlist prediction, and I will also upload it as a video, so if you can, watch that, comment down and subscribe if you aren't already. And yeah, thank you for watching. It was nice talking with you. Very good stream. I really like streams where I can actually talk with people and I'm not monologuing. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you next.